Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Shows World. Welcome to Shows World, gamers. Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a moment to review this week's new game releases, new game announcements, and a few news stories. If there's anything I have missed, let me know in the comments, and if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Alright gamers, as always, we will start off this week with the new game releases. Alright, now Midnight Fight Express is a new brawler that released on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, including Game Pass on day one. We did check this game out on the channel, so definitely check out those videos. I will link one at the end to this video. Next up, Saints Row was probably the biggest release this week, and maybe the biggest question mark is what to expect. The game was released on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and believe it or not, Google Stadia. I have not played the game yet. I was a little worried that they may have gone with a more linear style, but it appears from what I have seen, they kept that crazy over-the-top sandbox style game that Saints Row fans know and love. Alright, next up, Pac-Man World Repack was released today for the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. The game is a remake of the 1999 PlayStation 3D platformer, and I will be playing it over the weekend, so watch out for a video giving my thoughts on the game. SD Gundam Battle Alliance was also released this week on Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, and we checked this really fun fast-paced mech game on the channel, so check out the video linked at the end of this video for more info on this awesome, fun, fast shooter. Next up, Soul Hackers 2 is a role-playing game from Atlas. It is the sequel to Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, and it's the 5th installment of the Devil Summoner series. It's available on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I'm not familiar with the franchise, but any RPG coming from Atlas is worth a look, so check this game out if you're into RPGs. Next up in our weekend review, we're going to take a look at a few new gaming announcements, and we'll start off with PGA Tour 2K23. It was announced to be returning in mid-October after skipping last year. The game is coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC on October 14th, with the special Tiger Woods edition being released a few days earlier on the 11th. Also, Gamescom kicked off on Tuesday, where we got a bunch of new game announcements. Some of the highlights for me was Atlas Fallen, Moving Out 2, a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game. There was also a couple Telltale games with Tales of Borderlands and The Expanse. Those were just a few of the games. There was a ton of announcements, so definitely check into that. Now, the announcement that personally garnered the most excitement for me this week was a game titled Where Winds Meet. It's an epic, expansive action game that was unveiled at Gamescom, and the game looks amazing. It was the highlight of the show for me. It's a new IP from a new developer, and it looks like it's really promising. I'm definitely looking forward to getting more info on this title. Also, Sony announced the DualSense Edge Wireless, a fully customizable, upgraded controller for the PS5. Now, no release date was given or price, but this looks like an awesome upgrade on what may be the best, most advanced controller on the market. God of Rock was announced for the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation, as well as for PC. This game looks really interesting. It's a rhythm-based fighting game where you perform your moves to the beat of the music. There are multiple crazy-looking fighters and an upbeat soundtrack that really draws you into the action. The game is scheduled to be released this winter. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this one. It looks pretty interesting. All right, let's finish up with a few news stories. And we'll start off with Gamescom. It kicked off on Tuesday in Germany with a lot of big titles showing up. We got new info and really good new gameplay trailers for Sonic Frontiers, Callisto Protocol, High on Life, and Hogwarts Legacy. And in addition to the few games we discussed in our game announcement section, there was a ton of other announcements. The one last thing moment was a CG trailer for Dead Island 2 with a February 3rd release of next year. Then, after some brief info, they said they were going to show gameplay, so we saw another trailer with a mix of CGI and some intense-looking gameplay. Honestly, until we are at the doorstep of this game being released, I'm not going to get too excited for it. All right, next up, Hideo Kojima announced a podcast that will be streaming exclusively on Spotify starting in September. They did say that there will be English and Japanese versions available simultaneously. I'm not really sure how this is going to work, but it will also include a news section courtesy of Jeff Keighley each week as a regular feature. I'm definitely going to check this out, so stay tuned to the channel and let you know my thoughts on it in the future. Also, PlayStation VR2 was solidified by Sony as having an early 2023 release date. Still no price info, which I think with the PS5 news we're about to look at makes this kind of worrisome, as the closer we get, the higher the price predictions are rising. Speaking of that PlayStation news, our next story is another shocker. Just like a couple weeks ago, with the price increase of the Meta Quest 2 VR, Sony has now announced that they are raising the price of the PlayStation 5 in many countries, including Canada, Japan, Europe, United Kingdom, Mexico, China, and Australia. No price increase has been announced for the US at this time, but this is definitely a surprising development. All right, with the popularity and success of the first two Sonic the Hedgehog movies, it appears SEGA is looking to expand their movie library beyond just the third Sonic movie, as they announced they are currently looking into turning two more of their IPs into movies. Comic Zone and Space Channel 5 were probably not what you expected, but those are the franchises SEGA is working on transitioning to the big screen. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on August 26th. We started the week in the process of hoisting that Lombardi trophy as the Las Vegas Raiders won the Super Bowl in Madden NFL 23. Next up, Gamescom kicked off in Germany and gave us a ton of game announcements and some updated looks at some of my most anticipated upcoming games. And we ended the week jumping back into a remake of a classic PlayStation 1 game starring gaming royalty with Pac-Man World Repack. Let me know anything I missed in the comments, and if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and join in on the fun. Thanks for joining me today, gamers. Shows World out.